Okay, I think the biggest thing when they beat Tennessee at Tennessee Friday, I think that made our guys know how good they could be, and then they believed what we said about 29 wins last year, and most of those guys back, and I think they're a really good basketball team. I think our guys were much more ready to play because they believed what we were saying. I think Joel and Nate really did a good job of building out our pressure and starting some, we turned it over 26 times, and that always helps. I just like to make sure we don't turn it over 15 like we did. I asked them after the game, think of the real good moments in the game, and it was all sparked by hustle, dive on the floor, loose balls, guarding people, those kind of things, and that was our best stretch. We still didn't shoot the ball great, 48%, but you like 7 for 15 from the three-point line. We had Kennedy go 4 for 13 the other night, and Justin made everything, and Justin's 4 for 13 today. But I love having, 6 guys in double figures. We did a nice job on the backboards and take away the silly turnovers, and didn't shoot free throws as well as we did shoot them in practice, and they'd be really, really pleased about what we did.
How pleased are the way you mentioned the double figures, but how pleased are you the way they're sharing the ball? High number of assists to build up.
Yeah, I told him, somebody came up with some stat, it might have been Steve, that last year was the first time that somebody played for the national championship and only had one guy to make all conference. And that's that, paraphrasing what you said. And it was a team, and it really was, and I think that we've emphasized from day one that this group's got to be a team now as well. And 26 assists, 34 baskets is pretty good, and I think we can even do better because we missed some of those easy shots. I told Seventh he missed a layup the other night in the Tulane game, missed a dunk tonight, so he's staying after the game here to work with me on his dunks. And, but I think getting Seventh more time, getting Tony more time, getting Brandon more time, I think is something that is going to help us. And Luke May did sprain his ankle. We took him out there at the end. He's being evaluated now. It's a quick turnaround. We talked the other day about 7 games in 13 days, so we need our guys to be healthy. There's no question, because without Theo, it's a lot more difficult for us to go small with the right people as well.
Well, what does allow Tony Bradley to get off to such a good start to his freshman season, 2 games with double figures?
He's a very good player. That's the easiest part right there, and he doesn't try to do things that he can't do. He made that one turnover trying to throw it when Isaiah was borderline open or not. But Tony's going to be, I said, first day, Tony's going to be a very good player for us, and I think he's showing that right now. And what do you have? 4 for 7, 12 and 8, 15 minutes, and he'll get more and more time as his career goes on, and he's going to be a really big time basketball player.
Does Luke's go ahead?
Sorry, go ahead. Kenny Williams came in kind of with a reputation as a shooter, but tonight it was really sort of his defense and energy and hustle that gave you guys a lift, especially late in the first half.
Late in the first half. I think his was probably the key. I yelled at him because he didn't go to the board, and the next time he got an offensive rebound, the next time he dove on the floor, the next time he deflection. So, it's strange. I did think he was a really good shooter, but the first game I ever saw him play, he made 5 threes, but he also took 3 charges. And he's an intelligent player. He jumped up in the air tonight and made the charge when we had either Isaiah for a layup or Justin in the corner, but he's a smart player, and I think he'll stop doing that as well. But last year he made us feel like, and in the preseason this year, that he might be our best perimeter defender. And so he really does some things. The guy was talking about, looking across here, if I can find him, 4 for 7, 6 rebounds, 11 points, 5 assists, 1 turnover, 3 steals. I mean, that's a Danny Green kind of stat sheet right there where you're involved with a lot of good things.
Does Luke's situation kind of emphasize the kind of tenuous situation you have up front? Because you don't have a lot of big bodies to begin with.
No. And again, when you add Luke and Theo both, because last year we could go small sometimes, and we had 5 big guys. We had Joel and Bryce. They left, and we only added Tony. And, but no, it's we went small once in the first half, and then played quite a bit the last 5 or 6 minutes small. But if you have Justin and Theo, then you can go small and still not hurt yourself on the backboards. And that's what I told Kenny at one point. If I'm going small and he's a 3-man, he's got to get to the backboards for us. And I think he did a better job of that.
Did Tony arrive maybe fundamentally more sound than a lot of other big guys have in recent years for you?
Wow. I know Tyler Zeller was about as fundamentally sound as you could be. Bryce, Joel was not Joel, just hadn't played enough basketball. But I'm not going overboard on Tony. I don't think he's as nearly as fundamentally sound as he needs to be, just in the basics. But he loved the package, and he's just going to get better, and he wants to learn. He really does want to learn what's going on, and he's absorbing so many things because we're throwing about 1,000 things at him, but he's really doing a nice job with that.
Is it easier to run with him in the game?
Is it easier to run?
Easier to run with him in the game?
He's a better runner than Kennedy is. You know, the first time I ever saw Tony play, I was watching Brandon Ingram in a game up in Chicago. I didn't even know who he was, but I kept seeing this big guy really run the floor, and I told Coach Rob, I said, I like that guy. And he said he had just called on him the week before, and that's what got us started in the recruiting, is how well he ran. And during his career, he'll get better and better at that, and it'll really be fun to watch.
What does it mean for you guys to have Kennedy Meeks play the way he did as you're looking to find guys stepping up in the front court?
Well, you know, he was 4 for 13 48 hours ago, so we weren't too pleased with that, so he needed to get that one bonus. On the positive side today, what was he? 6 for 12. So he's still under 50%. I like my big guys to shoot close to 60%. But Kennedy had 15 rebounds the other night. I was more impressed with the 12 rebounds tonight, you know, because the people involved. Also the other night he had 7 rebounds, I think it was, on the offensive end, but 4 of them were after his own misses. So I'd rather him shoot a higher percentage and get that there. But no, I thought Kennedy did some good things. He was much more active today, with the exception of the defensive board the other night. I thought he was really good there.
Roy, on Friday, Joel said that he really worked this offseason to kind of elevate his defensive play, to be able to extend pressure, those such things. Have you seen that during the preseason in these first 2 games?
I think so. I think he started it last year late in the season, and Joel's grade over the year was, I would be shocked if it was not a really, really good defensive grade for the whole year. He was involved in the contest of being the defensive player of the game. But at the end, I think tonight it was he and Nate also. I think Nate made 1 jump shot tonight. The ball hadn't been going in the basket for him, but Nate's defense was really important to us. But Joel Berry, he was MVP of the ACC tournament last year, so he was no slouch last year, but what he was doing defensively up the court is really helping us.
Roy, you started Kenny Friday. Today you started Nate. Are you still kind of experimenting with combinations, or was there a particular reason that you went with this way
You
today?
know, in the exhibition game, we started Nate, I think, and then started Kenny at the half. And then today, Friday night, we started Kenny both halves. Tonight, we started Nate both halves. You know, I want to see who's going to play the best on game night. If Theo hadn't gotten hurt, probably that Theo might have been the starter in that position as well. So I'm just giving guys some chances. And when you get in there, you need to play well and do some good things. And I think, again, it doesn't show up in the scoreboard, but Nate defensively was really good for us.
Well, after that Pembroke game, it seemed like rebounding would be something that you would have to keep harping on. And what's been so successful these first 2 games in terms of, so you running them after?
Al, if you talk to them, they'll tell you I'm still harping on it, because again, in the first half they had 8 offensive rebounds to our 4. Now, when the other teams aren't shooting very good percentages, they have more opportunities, but they had 8 offensive rebounds in the first half to our 4. We've got to get our perimeter guys boxing out and going to the boards. The other night, that old saying, I got Brandon and Justin. They played 39 minutes, and they had 2 more rebounds than Wanda. And we've got to get more rebounds from our perimeter players.
Anybody else?
Didn't
John,
take
last
long
one?
this season.
When Duke won that national championship a couple of years ago, you had Quinn Cook as a senior surrounded by some really great freshmen. Is that what Nate Britt is for this squad?
Oh, you know, I assure you that nobody has more respect for Duke and their program and I do, but I'd be damned if I'm going to pattern what we're doing after them. So let's get that straight right now. They've been fantastic. I don't know if anybody's ever done a better job coaching than Mike, but we don't talk about things like that. But the difference is that Quinn was a big-time scorer and an emotional leader and a good defender. And Nate so far hasn't got the scoring, but guys do trust Nate. And I think that if Nate says, let's go to so-and-so restaurant, the guys usually say okay, because they trust him. But no, I may compare them to teams that I have coached, but I'm not comparing them not only to Duke, I'm not comparing them to Slippery Rock or anybody else. It's not in my DNA.
One more. Last one, Barry.
I have a non-game question for you.
That's right, I just now gave you a soliloquy on non-game questions.
Yes, you did. Especially having spent so much time around Coach Smith, what is the importance of the character of the people that you surround yourself with?
Well, you know, I don't want to say I'm old every time I say something happened 100 years ago. Everybody says I'm ready to quit the next week kind of thing. But I've made a lot of decisions in my entire career taking character over talent. And we have wonderful kids, and I'll make a mistake and we'll have a guy who ends up being a knucklehead sometimes, but for the most part, for 29 years, we've had wonderful kids. And I think the character, you give me a kid with great character, he's going to care more, he's going to work more, he's going to be able to make sacrifices for the common goal. And yeah, I have 2 grandsons. One will be 6 on January 1st, and one that just turned, be 7 on January 1st, and another one just turned 5 in August. There's not a player on my team that I wouldn't let babysit and feel very good about them taking care of the grandsons. Now, if it was Kennedy, Courtney, maybe babysitting Kennedy.